By entering editing mode, we can interact with the graph. First of all, we can add up to 5 graphs by selecting the plus sign with the trigger and close them by selecting the X. Furthermore, it is possible to change the physical quantities on the y-axis by choosing from a list that we can scroll through using the joystick or by selecting the sidebar. Let's exit editing mode and make a circular trajectory. We observe that the graph of x as a function of time and y as a function of time are two sinusoids with positive values. In fact, the data was collected in the first quadrant of the xy plane. If we make another circular trajectory around the origin of the reference system, we observe that the corresponding graphs vary within an interval centered on 0. Furthermore, having graphed the y component of the velocity as a function of time, we observe that this graph is the derivative of the graph of the y function as a function of time. In fact, the zeros of the derivative correspond to the maximum or minimum points of the y function. It is possible to adjust the scale on the y-axis and the x-axis. To do this, we deselect the auto mode and change the interval limits using the arrows or by holding down the trigger and moving the controller to the right or to the left. Depending on the teaching activity and the methods we wish to use, we can hide the reference system or the graphs. To do this, we enter editing mode and deselect coordinate system and graphs.